As I mentioned earlier, Sydney Morgan is currently co-starring in the Walt Disney film Tron, and the co-star of a new television series this fall on another network, as they say, called Bring 'Em Back Alive. This is her first time with us. Would you welcome Cindy Morgan? We finally made it.
Wow.
Do you like that? You don't think that's male chauvinism at work, do you?
No,
Whistles
that's
and
great.
catcalls? Yeah. They say most women, if they walk down the street and they hear somebody whistle, some women say that's demeaning and so forth. But
depends on how many guys and what they look like. You know, like if it's a big mob, you know.
Yeah, I suppose it could be frightening. How are you?
Hysterical. I'm a little nervous.
Why, don't be.
Clammy hands.
No. Just relax. Take it easy. Why should you be nervous? You did a motion picture. You already started filming your series for the fall, which
I know.
I hear nice things about.
It's wonderful. It's really a lot of fun now.
Is that based on Frank Buck at all? Bring 'Em Back Alive,
It is.
Frank Buck, the great explorer.
Frank Buck was a real guy who lived in the 30s and the 40s, and he brought animals back alive for zoos.
Right.
He was kind of a folk hero, and we're setting it in 1939 in Singapore.
Oh, it is. It is in that time frame.
Just before World War II, and we've got animals, we got Nazis, we got everything. It should do really well.
Why do you have Nazis?
What?
I mean, did I miss something? I mean, it's not set in.
Oh no, but this is pre-World War II, so we have a
see.
few little things going on. You know, they're coming in. And
How many
I
of
play the
these?
Vice Consul of Singapore.
How many of these? Every time I have animals on the show, the trainer always comes on. It always says this animal is perfectly trained. He's done many shows, and it will not bother him. And the animal invariably either goes for my face, or attempts to bite me, or something.
We only have one animal like that. One rather large chimp, Garanja. He likes ladies, and occasionally they have to take him off and have a talk with him.
Chimps are very strong.
He's very friendly. He's very friendly, and they're very strong. It's like four guys. You know, he's strong as four men.
Do you go on location to do the show, or is this all done?
We went to Hawaii to do some exteriors, some establishing shots. Most of it's done on the backlot jungle out there.
Yeah.
It looks like a jungle. I mean, they set it up, they put the plants out. It's very hot.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing is they have to spray us down to make it look like we're sweating. And
Right.
we did the pilot in February.
You could have done it last week. You wouldn't have needed anything out here. It was
I
terrible.
know.
Now, I have not seen Tron yet. Is this kind of a science fiction picture?
It's kind of like, it's hard to describe, but it's sort of like the Wizard of Oz. There are two parallel worlds, the real world and the computer world. And if you're a computer scientist in the real world and you put together a program, it exists as a living entity in the other world and looks just like you. You become a caricature of yourself in the other world, kind of like in the Wizard of Oz, Miss Gulch became the Wicked Old Witch. So it was like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Kind of a transfer, like. Yeah. What do you play in this?
The girl.
The girl.
It's the basic girl role. I play.
Huh? What is the basic girl?
Well, you know, every science. It's true though.
There is usually, but usually the girl in the old science fiction pictures was the doctor.
Yes.
She was always hysterical. You'd see some luscious-looking thing.
Yes.
It would be, oh, tell me, Dr. Kincaid. Yes. What? You know, and she'd fall
That's
in
it.
love with the adventure, but...
That's it. They put me in glasses and made me look very, very. It was wonderful. Looked very bright.
Yeah.
It was
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right. Somebody...
How are the Cubs doing?
They had a very good day last week. They were rained out. Somebody told me, that you did some broadcasting in Chicago.
I was a disc jockey for 5 years.
You're kidding?
No.
On radio?
On a radio station. I did the weather. I took a little time off. I worked the weather, and I was a sound engineer in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. I was shyer then than I am now, and I was glad because you're behind a microphone, and you can get away with murder. You can say just about anything you want.
Yeah, we did tonight, I think. You were the weather girl on radio?
Oh, that was on a television station.
That was on television.
And I had my own talk show, too.
Did you know anything about weather? Now, be honest. Sometimes I watch the weather people. Now, there are regular doctors, I guess, and meteorologists, but very often the weather girls around, you get the feeling that sometimes they really don't know
They hired me because I could stand and...
Do you know what an isobar is?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. I learned that after a while.
What
That's
is
not
it?
why they hired me.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, no, you're very attractive, and...
They hired me because I could talk and ad-lib the weather.
Yeah.
The isobars, of course, are the little wave patterns that you have, the air patterns, and the isobars separate the air masses.
Very good.
I like that. I was in a class with some 6th graders once, and they asked me what the difference between a hurricane and a typhoon, and I really thought I knew, and I bluffed the kid. This little 6th grader got up and told me. I was dead wrong.
Well, now that you've piqued everybody's interest, what is the difference between a hurricane and
I believe
typhoon?
it's the fact that one's in the northern hemisphere and one's in the southern. Now, I'm probably dead wrong still, and this kid's going to write me a letter, and I'm going to have to live with that. And they
Typhoons are usually at sea, aren't
one
they?
goes clockwise and one goes counterclockwise.
Yes, well, they should. I have no idea what that means. Have you done other television besides
I had my own talk show.
You like this?
Mm-hmm. No, not like this. I had guests like, the Boy Scouts and the farmers with the biggest zucchini in town would come on.
The farmer with the biggest zucchini in town. Come on, Gracie.
Strictly a public service show. And then
Yeah.
one day, none of my guests showed up except a German Shepherd.
One of your days, you had a German Shepherd for a
For a
guest?
half hour. You know what it's like when none of your guests show up, and then
Yeah.
you've got the one, and I had him on for 30 minutes.
A dog.
Talk about dying on stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not a dog, a shepherd.
It was a
really?
Oh, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Didn't
That was about it. He gave pie, rolled over, did a few things.
Yeah.
It got real boring. I really stretched, told the story of my life a few
But you
times.
learn that way, don't you?
Yes, I did.
That's good training.
Yes, I did, yeah.
You went to an all-girls school, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Grade school. The first talk show I did, the host asked me, so, from Catholic school to Caddyshack, huh? Big transition, yeah.
Were you
It
in
was-
Caddyshack?
Oh, yeah. You don't recognize me because I have a dress.
I saw Caddyshack.
I was the girl, again.
Well, obviously.
Do you remember A Girl? She sort her name was Lacey Underall, and she, that was my first job ever. Really.
Were you,
I
were
was-
you shy about that?
I was scared to death.
Really?
I was just terrified. But I couldn't figure out why they hired. I never understood. It was my again, I know. I'm not going to say I couldn't figure out why they hired me. But it was my very first job, and but I figured they gave it to me. I'm going to do it.
It's a start.
Yeah. And after that, it's all easy. It was trial by fire.
Well, things are going very well now for you.
Things are going great. The show's going to be wonderful. It
I
is.
hope so.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll take a break. We'll be right back, and you'll meet the Hathaways in just a moment.